He's the like development.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All right.
Just to bounce on what Leo was saying, so this will be, can you get more? Wow,
That's me.
From us.
It's me. If you.
No. I muted myself, sorry.
No, so you'll need to turn it up, or will you be able to hear? Actually, we might not be able to hear if you're plugged in. So I might have to, if you're.
I'll mute.
No.
Now we get.
Oh, sorry.
And turn mine on. You can just talk through mine,
Is
maybe.
anyone monitoring the chat box as well? Maybe you can do that, Steve, as well.
Yep.
While you're jumping in there to discussion. Yeah, just to, I guess.
Do you want to introduce yourself first?
Are you both on mute though? I think you're both on.
No, I'm not.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Steve was,
Okay.
he's turned off, he wasn't.
Yeah, okay.
That's Andrew's share.
We'll work it out.
We,
Okay, sorry. David.
Introduce yourself.
I'm just watching Andrews, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, for anyone that I haven't met on screen, I think I saw Dylan there as well, Drew Nimesh is there, but for anyone that I haven't met, my name's Fabian. I'm the development manager here at Marcor. So looking after MBOQ's development drafting and the retail system. Just to sort of recap again, bouncing off what Sligo was saying, this meeting is more to discuss strategy. Not sure if Ari briefed the guys on some of the work that we've been doing,
Yeah, we've sort of talked about it.
spoken about it briefly, but yeah, I guess it's more just to give you guys an update onto some of the work that particularly Eddie, Stu and Andrew, Steve and Andrew are doing in the estimating space. And to talk about strategy and what it means and why we're doing this sort of work. Yeah, just to close that loop and keep you guys involved, you guys will have a part to play in terms of what's to come. And Andrew's put together a bit of a presentation, which we'll go through now. But yeah, like Steve said, it's going to be pretty informal. Just stop Andrew or Steve or any, at any point and ask any questions that you've got. I want to keep this as, I guess, as interactive as possible.
And if you guys have got any questions, maybe just type them in the chat box as well. So.
I'm Andrew. I'm buildability manager. I'm helping the guys out. I'm obviously in the development procurement team. Been working with the guys on, obviously the business has grown. Does anyone know what order value we're going to send out this year? What responsibility this team's got roughly, I guess? It blew me away when I.
Anyone else? Have a guess. Have a guess.
Have a guess how many orders this team's going to send out?
How much dollars worth of?
How much? Like a total amount?
There's, so it's 81 SPCs, that's around 35 million somehow. But there's the meetings. Yeah,
250 million.
yeah.
Which is a crazy amount of money. Obviously, the company's grown, which is a good thing. But yeah, with that comes more responsibility, and yeah, probably more professionalism required, and more linking of systems and processes and things like that. So yeah, it's one thing, the production estimate one way, but if we're sales estimating another way, we're falling apart. So just alignment's key. So we've obviously the growth, we've worked out that we need a system around our estimating, and set a way to help you guys out with knowledge and actually knowing what to do and how to estimate. And also it helps procurement with onboarding suppliers, like a waterproofing supplier. How do we actually do our takeoffs at the wall junctions? It's all those types of things. It's one thing to procure a rate, but then if it doesn't come through on the purchase order, the rate's not right then. So it's all about transparency, and knowing our way. Steve and I had a good example just yesterday or the day before. He rang me up and he said, "Oh, but something about at the on boundary fascia, we draw one way, we estimate another, and it's not having the two systems working together. So we're putting fascia on the boundary wall where we don't need it." And setting the way also helps other areas of the business, like OH&S know what our expectations are, and they know there's a way of, we need extra guardrails or things like that. Just that whole system approach. Obviously, a builder up until say 400 homes can get away with like individual estimators getting told word by word of mouth on how we do things, and you sort of get away with it. But yeah, obviously once you grow, the risk and the conversation's not happening and the
Chinese
documented.
whispers,
Yeah,
something just changes every time someone else tells it
yeah,
from what it was that originally was supposed to be. Like it can just vary that little bit by each person. In the end, it's no longer what it's supposed to be. So it's just more documenting everything that way.
Yeah.
So
So obviously, we need a system around our estimating, and we need to set the Markov way of how we build. We need to draw how we build, and we need to obviously estimate that way too, so everything aligns. I'll move on to the next slide. So me and the guys have been looking through jobs that have been sent. So we've got a feedback, what we call improvement feedback and training loop. So this is how we're going to go about it to start off with. Obviously, we can't come up with everything tomorrow. It'd be good if we could, but we're thinking this is going to be a 12-month project to get through everything, and to help us prioritise. We're going through jobs that have been sent, just to find things like the fascia that's getting ordered that we thought was meant to be ordered, but it's not. Do you know what I mean? There's things like that. So
getting your detail updated to match what the way it's going to be happening.
yeah, giving you guys the feedback and our supplier the feedback that we don't need that fascia, we don't allow for that fascia, and things like that. So we've been going through jobs. That'll help us prioritise. That'll help us communicate. That'll help Steve's training sessions on what to do, and then from that we'll then come. We've started an estimating guide. So it'll be like your guys' Bible, how we do a waterproof junction takeoff, what fall protection we need on certain jobs, all those types of things. We'll document and give you guys a guide to succeed, I suppose, and do it our way. And that guide will obviously be an avenue of construction to say, well, hang on, no, we need this, or a supplier to say, no, our takeoff should be like this, or things like that. So it'll just be transparency and alignment.
Is that going to be a new document that's created, or is that going to be worked off the existing paper?
It'll be a new document, just based on our estimating way. So the current doc, Fabian and I are going to look at pulling that apart and putting the data build stuff, probably moving that over to RE, how to use data build and things like that. But the actual estimating way will be a new doc. Yeah, some of the stuff from the current doc will go obviously into the new doc.
Does anyone have any questions before Andrew moves on? I do.
I'm a man of few words, so please ask questions. This is going to go really quick.
Got a bit of a process map there, Andrew, where next to improvement feedback and training loop.
Yep.
Maybe run us through what that step is and why we're doing it.
Do you want to jump in on this one, Stephen?
Yeah. All right. So obviously we are looking at them after ACC, realistically. Obviously the business, we can't allow the business to stop. So we need you guys still doing it, still estimating it, still doing your checks, but we're going back after the fact to then work out what we can fix to find just to find over ordering, to find new business, like new construction ways of building,
Challenge current.
challenge, yeah, just checking, just even to refine the way we do things. So obviously, we can't just say, oh, let's not send any ACCs and let's check them all before we send them. Business won't allow us to do that. Well, so we need to continue on, but through us is checking all the jobs. Every single ACC, we started from June, realistically. So we are working through all Junes. And I think Andrew started on July's. So we're going through them, every single job. We're documenting what we find. We're documenting what needs training, what's like
Needs clarification.
clarification, even working out that pre-sites admin need training, drafting need training, raising orders. Should they be raising orders? Checking other ways of doing things.
How bad the MBOQs are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's-
What MBOQs? What
and through our
MBOQs?
business learning experience, don't feel like we're looking at your work, we're looking at it from overall, how professional we need to become. So, yeah,
To grow more, we need to
yeah,
become more professional, more
Yeah.
streamlined.
so it's all learning, it's all, yeah, and we'll give the feedback, we'll document it, and we'll become a hell of a lot better from it. So that's the exciting part.
Yeah, so from that, obviously, we're actually cancelling and reissuing orders. So, but we're not raising ETOs. That's one thing we're not doing.
I was gonna say, you're only just pulling out from
Yeah.
from the jobs.
Yeah.
So,
And we're not looking at tender, PCBs, things like that. We're just looking at takeoffs, yeah.
plan takeoffs and orders
So
realistically.
you're not saying, well, was the right tapware basins?
No.
Yeah, so
No.
just stop doing your.
Unless, unless you've doubled up. Then I'm gonna pull out an upgraded
Yeah.
kitchen sink because it's not standard. But
It's so that's still part of the estimating check. Because
Yeah, no.
realistically, that's to reduce ETS, isn't it? So you're checking, all right, yep, they've paid for that, have we ordered it? That's fine, we're not going through the tender and going, all right, yep, they have ordered it. We're just looking at the orders going, right, there's a sink, yep, okay.
Yeah.
We're not going, oh, is that the right sink? Because we're not looking, if there's two sinks in there, if there was two sinks in there, for example, and there was only one sink on the plans, then we go, all right,
Yeah, pull one out.
let's pull one out.
Yeah.
Now we need to look at what we need to pull out.
Yeah.
But
And we'll try and look at a reason why to actually come up with a way forward, like there's one with 100 mil foam on a UE job and you track it back to the bill. So that means, to get, I mean, we know the reason, we know how to fix it, we know how to
Yeah,
communicate it, we can let you guys know if you see a UE job, look out for this until we get time to fix it, and we all work together and communicate, yeah.
so even there's examples of, there's 3 re-estabs ordered on a job.
Yeah.
Like you go, we look at the orders and see if it's been invoiced. All right, this one's been invoiced. This one was created 12 months ago.
Yeah. Or,
Obviously, they've raised it, not sent it on to get it done. Then the next person's gone, oh, we need a re-estab. So they go in and raise another one.
I've got like 50,000 emails saying, I accidentally raised this one, can you cancel it?
Well, what do you think? I'm not giving them the ability to cancel at the moment.
Can you? Because I keep emailing.
The problem is they can't order it. They're gonna stuff it up.
Well, apparently they're all gonna have access, they're gonna all have the vault, everyone's gonna have
Yeah,
access.
but that's
to
different.
Resident.
That's a different system.
It's different. It's an invoicing and ordering system.
They'll still show up.
But they still can't, no one can cancel on that. They come to me.
Oh, okay, you're gonna have plenty of people going to you.
But this is where they need training, yeah?
Yeah.
So the idea of it is that drafting and admin need to training. So, and then the other thing off that is the back of, if the actual job's locked, ACC, they can't raise them, which they still do now. They'll raise load one ACC that's out of budget, it's not in the budget, do you get what I mean?
Oh, okay.
So They don't know, so they haven't been trained, so they just raised it. Oh, shit, I missed $2,000 on
Sewer type up.
sewer tie cutback, and they raised it.
Yeah, they're raising by one, by two.
So this isn't in your margin. This is the whole reason about talking about when we lock a budget and we declare a margin, then anything extra should be an ETO. So that's the reason, because we're tracking what we've actually said the house cost us to build. So, but yeah, so from that, we are then amending orders. We will look at, go, there's 5 cubes of concrete too much, for example. Then we'll cancel it and reissue it 5 cubes less. Sometimes even just on the takeoff, it's putting you've got the point in the wrong spot. Like I had one that was, the step down was 1 meter, not 0.1. So it had 8 cubes in there for a step down. So I went, all right, we don't need 8 cubes for a step down. I put it to 126 step down and pulled out 8 cubes. Like that's just, we know that how simple it is by putting a point in the wrong on takeoff, an Excel doc.
Yeah.
So that's from that. This is what this is all about. So we're gonna, like, we'll amend the orders. We're noting down what we all pull out and fix it up. And then from that, we're gonna create a log and work out what the common things are. And then from that, we then go feedback, training, and then
They won't tell you like as they're finding.
Nah.
Yeah.
We'll look at it in big batches.
Yeah.
We won't look at it.
Work out one next training session and.
that's, yeah, if it's someone's made an error on concrete and you're 5 cubes over on this one, but it's only that one job, then
No,
it's not really a training session that
We all make
everyone's,
mistakes.
like, it's not a training session we need to run.
Keep an arrow.
Like, it could be, yeah, we still need to probably refresh it, but it might be on the bottom of the list. Whereas then we're looking at silt protection,
Field protection, yeah.
that's an automatic call up out of click that we can't cancel. If there was an order to go out to silt protection that's not required, we can't cancel it, because when Dale puts in his cuts, like puts in his cut from Earthlift, it's an automatic call up to them to go and do it. So, because we're obviously looking at them after the fact, that $200, they've already gone out and installed it
Done the work.
before I've gone and cancelled it, and they go, well, it's already done. It's not on his booking sheet because it's an automatic call up from Click. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and just by sending an order, that if it, like, we're gonna then double check in our cancel requirements, we're gonna go through that again, make sure that's correct. If there's a zone that doesn't, we've got it saying yes and it's not required, then we'll get it fixed and it will be updated. Stuff like that. So it's just even fixing the back end products that we need, tools that you guys are using. So same as just like the scaffold calculator as well. Remembering not to take, if you don't take out the lower roofs and you've done the fascia gutter and you've got the scaffolding, you've done the whole perimeter, but you haven't taken out lower roof, you've got 5, 10, 20 meters, depending on the job, of too much of scaffold. So it's just then trying to think about, well, do we come up with a different way of doing it that doesn't give you that linear meters there, because you've got to take something out to get it. Do you get what I mean? Like trying to fix the tools. So, but that's then from that, we're giving give the feedback, like from meetings, training sessions, and then updating of all the documentation for the manuals and.
Are you diving really deep into the MBOQs as well, like when you're checking?
Yep, so
those jobs?
from that, we're getting stuff from that to fix it.
Yeah, okay.
But that's, yeah, but from that, we're even catching that as well.
Yeah, cool, yeah.
Going, all right, well, hold on, we order 110 mil skirt for under the full height windows at the facade. Do we need it? Some of them go, oh, we need 140. We go, well, that's 270, so why do we need a 140 when you can just use the 270?
Well, asking for 140 to go, so.
Yeah.
And I think the guide too, once the guide's out there, it'll help you guys, like if construction come in and say, we need this, it'll be, well, no, hang on, this is how we do it. So it'll help align that. And then if they need to challenge that, then they can, we can work through that. It'll-
Yeah, through a process.
Yeah, like the system, take away like the individualness of each job in a way. Yeah. So just to run you through those 5 steps really quick. So number 1, so sent jobs checked by development team. Number 2, purchase orders amended by development team as required. Number 3, estimating issue log updated and training log prioritised. So that's where we prioritise what we need to,
What we're finding
we need to
in.
fix. Number 4 is live feedback and weekly training sessions to address key estimating issues. Number 5, estimating guide and other relevant processes and stakeholders updated. So that's that. Any questions? Okay, quick if you don't ask questions.
Before you move on, just before you move on, Brownie, that Mark or estimating guide.
Yep.
The slide before. Outside of that waterproofing example, what are some of the other things that we could see in that document?
So some of the other things would be, for instance, how to cancel an order, how to raise an ETO after the job's ACC, what's standard MBOQ made up of, just everything that relates to estimating what OH&S requirements we've got. Help me out here, Steve.
Also, what effects it has on like other departments as well that we have. So if we don't have documented how to cancel, reissue a job, for example, then what effect that has on KL's world, the accounts world. Like there's different areas that if we don't, because once a job's locked and the budget's locked, then that's what they can only pay to, for example. But if we've ordered a reorder and gone over the budget amount, then they actually can't pay it because it's a locked budget. There might be a PO for it, but there'll still be an issue when they come to process the invoice.
Yeah.
So there's all different, and it's just having, and the tools that we use, the way we do it. There's the future of the way we hope one day it will be, compared to what it is today, but from today, this is the way it is. 2 years' time, the whole thing can change because we've changed the way that we work on jobs.
I think documenting it, obviously, once it's documented, it's easier to change and manipulate.
Yeah, correct,
And
Yeah,
grow
it's create
from there.
different versions.
But even if someone new starts as well,
Yeah, well, it's just a tool, another tool for a new starter.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I see sales estimating using it to make sure they're obviously estimating similar to you guys, just things like that.
And it'll just give everyone another leg to stand on. Like, I know the amount of queries that we all get from, I guess, external stakeholders like suppliers. You're just gonna have more confidence when you refer back to this. Like, it's not all sorts, it's gonna be on you, it's gonna be on everyone here. And then, that might come back to you, say, to a Brownie or a Sleever, and you say, hey, you might actually question that in the.
Why is it done that way? Why?
One. And then
if the
we might
supplier's coming
update
back to
that.
you, that's right. If Eddie's going, the supplier's saying this, but this is telling me to do it this way, then it could have been the problem that when they were on board that they didn't understand the way we did the estimation, that we need to revisit it with them.
And, also allow you, when you're looking through a job, you might pick up in the NBOQ, hey, that's actually a discrepancy with a guide, our sort of booklet now, and you send it over to Sleever and, he fixes it up. So it's just going to create that alignment. That's what we've been speaking about today. But it'll give you guys so much more confidence. It'll give everyone here so much more confidence in, I guess, the day-to-day role.
Yeah, because procurement will obviously use it eventually for onboarding suppliers. Setting rates. So as I think I said before, there's one thing to set a rate for Tyler or whatever, but what's that, how's that rate worked out? Is it, yeah, it's internal measurements, is it, you take out the island bench, do you do this, do you do that? It affects the purchase order amount, so it affects the rate in the end.
It's also like there was, when scaffolding, when we bought scaffolders, some of them used to go linear meters a wall, for example. And their rate was, say, 110 a meter, a linear meter, whereas then we use linear meter a wall, but we plus the external corners and all that kind of stuff, just the variance in the way that we estimate, that when we brought them on, that's the way it's explained how we worked it, because someone goes, well, no, I can't do it for 75 bucks a linear meter or 80 bucks or 95 bucks. That's got to be 120. But then you go, well, once they work out there for that job and you work it out and they go, right, they're actually not that far apart, just by understanding the way that we add it. Yeah,
Well, pretty much sounds like it's gonna be a step by step on how to estimate.
Pretty much, yeah, yep, pretty much, yep.
Angela, you reckon that'll, would have benefited you when you started? What manual did you get when you first started?
You got the blindfold.
Is your computer?
but it'll even be, we'll delve into it cost center by cost center.
Yeah, we've been talking.
Yeah, ideally down the line, that's what it'll be how to do everything. So if a newcomer does come on board, they can go, oh, is everything,
We
how
can-
we do it.
We're gonna break it to being a single and a double. So you can start on singles.
Yep.
Start with
With
this.
single man.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
There's just the tools to help. And even there'll be same with the document to check. I've never done it because I've just got it up here but every single person here would check a job differently.
Yes.
And estimate a job differently.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So by aligning everything, we're trying to get consistency, like just by checking the same, estimating the same, even everyone checking jobs. So the feedback, depending on who did the check, you could get two different sets of feedback. So then people might start questioning, well, hold on, why did I get it from me
Different, yeah.
and I got it different from you?
Yeah.
It's just that at the moment, everyone's got their own way of doing it, that nothing's aligned. So if we align the estimating way and even the checking way, then it's, no matter who picks it up, it's going to be the same.
And I think too, as a systematic approach, I know Dave from procurement uses a good analogy, like as a company estimating, we want to, like using golf as an analogy, we want to hit the ball before the hole and then just tap it in. So we're happy with a little ETS and tap it in, because that 250 mil, if you're just having a little ETS, it's a completely different result, where if you're estimating individually and you a little bit worried, or you've had some ETS in the past, you're going to hit past the hole and then tap it back. So you're not going to get ETS. So I think as a systematic approach, we'll be able to help set that and know where we're really fit, get out the pricing. Yeah.
And historically,
So
too,
ETS will go away. It'll be, we're okay with ETS. We're happy with a little bit of ETS.
Otherwise, we think we're over ordering.
Yeah, there's good ETS, there's bad
That's right.
ETS. You order a garage door wrong, that's not great. They're wrong colour, but
Yeah, well, that's what we
Yeah.
talked about, it's the errors that are.
It's,
Yeah.
So emission is fine, like, because it's something that's the client's paid for and
Yeah,
it's just not ordered. It's more that it's the error. So fascia and gutter, good old tank.
I'm telling Jackie's house.
Yeah, so he ordered the fascia and gutter the wrong colour. Now, luckily, it actually just got delivered to site, not installed, but it was picked up
Jackie's mum.
by Jackie's mum driving past saying, oh, your fascia and gutter was there. And she sent a photo. Yeah, so she sent a photo of it. She goes, that's the wrong colour. So luckily it wasn't installed.
He must have done the variables earlier because it was changing the PCB8. Where it changed the colours.
But that's like to reorder the fascia and gutter, that's an error. Yeah, so that's, whereas in you being 3 meters short of concrete, that's a mission, yeah? Like,
That's good, ETS, that's good, yeah.
so that's a good ETS. That's where we, instead of, that's probably when, what's the next one? Is it talking about, yeah, this is probably where. Hey,
But why are clients changing colours at that late?
That's right.
Piece of information?
Why is it now? You can have it in colours.
What was for the,
That's what I said, but why'd you change colour?
oh, so that would be an easy error from
That's an error.
the estimating side. You've
so
done the job
you've
variables,
not done the check.
and then you quickly, oh shit,
Yeah.
ICC quickly
Yeah,
updates in
in the
your
offices,
send,
yeah.
and then you're like, oh shit, how did I do this? Easy, like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
But this is where you learn from your mistakes, so, yeah?
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's the biggest thing, like, you learn from, I can tell you, I've ordered a whole roof wrong. I ordered, actually,
Well, if it wasn't captured for the fashion gutter, the roof was gonna.
the roof would have been wrong too. So if it was installed, then you're looking at 20 grand all up, not just the 2.5
To
grand.
pull it all down.
Pull it off.
And stuff.
And I think too, this is just part of the whole company getting more professional.
Yeah.
Like PCB 8 colour change after, we've got, 100%, we've got to clamp down on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got variation guidelines now,
Yeah.
it's just all becoming more professional to make it. To make it
Scripting
easy.
changes.
Yeah.
But like with stairs has been a big issue the last few months. Like,
Yes.
it was always an issue and then it became perfect and fucking lately, everything's wrong.
Right.
It really is a problem. Because almost all the fucking emails is stairs. This doesn't match this, this doesn't match this, the tender's incorrect.
So all the documentation's not matching what,
Yeah.
It's even matching when it comes to us.
so then it depends on where that's coming from though, yeah? Like if it's colours that have changed it, or if it's come from sales, then the VPB is the VPB is the old item, do you get what I mean? So obviously there was the change that we went to, all the stairs that we've put into the VP, all the new stairs of VPB and in data build, but
Yeah.
there'll still be old jobs that actually
Under the old.
under the old system that won't talk to your codes and won't talk to that, but that's just,
Because when I see stairs, I can die. Stairs all day. No?
but that's where, as in, like, as I said, if you know what the standard is, and if they haven't upgraded, then
But
that's
they
what
upgrade
it's, but then, yeah, you still just look at the standard stair versus, use the book, the book is,
It's changed.
yeah, it's been updated as well, it's in the tunnel,
Is it?
yeah.
Is that SB one been added in there?
I think we take this one offline because we're derailing.
If you are having issues like that, bring them into the training sessions, 100%. And yeah, because if it's causing you issues and which sort of goes into this one, system integration, obviously, yeah, if we fix estimating and leave everything else alone, estimating's not going to be fixed. It's everything that needs to work around it. And obviously the system approach allows that. So we can't just go and change silk protection because our OH&S manager wants it. There needs to be a reason, and systems need to be updated. We need to charge a client, all things like that. So that's the beauty of having the system approach to what we do. We can really hone in on those types of things. And yeah, the next one, collaboration. Talking about things, working it out together, making sure everyone's involved from suppliers to stakeholders, components, systems, all those types of things. Because you change one thing and it's all good, but if collaboration's not done, someone's not told, and all those types of things, it doesn't work anyway. So that's the beauty of having a system, having a guide, having a way. Is that everything around it's locked in. We draw it like that. We sales estimate it like that, and we build it like that. So it helps it all come together.
I think that collaboration, these two sides really talk to each other. And are almost one and the same. And I think when we talk about creating systemic ways of estimating and the work the guys are doing, putting together a manual and a guide, providing the training, using your example with the stairs, that's where this whole collaboration and opening the lines of communication becomes really important, because if we've got systemic, we can't roll out a system when we've got systemic problems. Now, the development team relies on that sort of feedback. And it's perfect because I'll take that and see what's going on with Stable. But let's not let Angela blow up because she's had 14 in the last month. Or, you know, Elmo blow up because he's had 10 colour changes on PCB 15 before the job goes to site. Let's talk about that, bring them to the training or walk over, send an email or whatever that looks like. And start to really open up those lines of communication so we can actually play our role in development and build the building and fix those systemic problems.
Work out the why and, actually fix it. Yeah.
Well, you know, then go and have the conversation with someone else who do what needs to happen.
Yeah, and obviously, the system integration is important. For instance, if we cancel orders wrong or don't raise on load 11 after ACC, it affects like accounts, budgets and things like that. So it's all, you start to, if it's not a whole system, something else, like it might be working here, but it falls apart somewhere else. So that's key. And obviously, the system part, from the system we get data, and from data we can actually pull some levers to, if we're short on bricks all the time, we can do the takeoff sheet a little bit more bricks, or if we've got too many bricks, we can pull the lever back. So it's data's gold. And obviously, if we're not working to a way, then the data's not obviously as reliable.
And that's the same with even just the rates that we pay trades. That's why like the bricklayer's been taken out the load 10s. Because we were using the load 10 and still raising a ETO for $1,000. They're thinking we're only $1,000 short on what the bricklayer needs to be paid because it's not seen the reorder, is it?
Yeah,
So
because they were doing the trade, but we were just like raising the load 10 on the load 2. or
Yeah,
whatever,
exactly.
They were still doing
But,
another
but
trade,
then
right?
Steve looks at the ETO report and goes, oh, if it's only $1,000 on this many jobs, then we don't need to move. But because there's been allowances put in, that's why then we go, right, well, we'll remove them and then we'll see where it really needs to sit.
There's jobs at the moment where Canio's busted jobs.
Don't worry about it, I'll sort it
Yeah,
in.
we're sorting it out this morning.
Okay, so the guy, you know not to raise them yet?
He didn't come up to me today.
Well, there's nothing there to raise because we deleted it out.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, so Canio Weber saying, send me a PO for the bricklayer.
Yeah,
We'll just delete it.
Just reply back. If there's something in the job, say there's nothing
If
there.
there is a load 10, shall we just delete it anyway? And just say there's nothing in
Yeah,
there?
just
right?
say,
Yeah.
So I always
Yeah,
go.
delete it, the last 10 cents, so go on.
They should be all gone. We went through all the 6 months worth of this when we would started this.
So you
Yeah,
got that.
operation.
Okay, so we don't.
So Kanye comes up to you and says, I need the bricklayer.
Yeah.
If it is there, just delete it, just tell them to raise it as a
Through ETO.
Through ETO, yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have to muck around. Because he said he was like chasing before. Yes.
Yeah, he said he was gonna take all the construction supervisors that come out.
Sorry, I sorted it.
Canio talks a big game. You gotta know how to handle it.
So, yeah.
Just don't answer his phone.
So, no.
But that, even that was like, that was not sharing the information that we've actually taken it out to them. So by me telling you this morning and then saying, well, hold on, you'll need to increase your amount that you can approve because
You're gonna get more bricklayer.
and then I said, because you want to improve that because otherwise they're going to camp and camp's not going to sit there and do them all.
Yeah.
So just by communication and getting it sorted.
Okay, so as you've been checking the June jobs as well, you've been deleting?
Yep.
If they're in there.
Yep.
So we'll start to work towards a no allowance, blocks, communicate it and come up with a way. Obviously knock down rebuilds will probably have allowances.
We'll have probably a different doc for that.
Yeah, but allowances just hide other things. So,
What do you
again,
mean
the
by
system-
different time?
Like a document noting what we, for a knockdown rebuild, do you
Oh,
go,
God.
yeah, like a guide for that, for a knockdown.
High traffic, mate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but all other pretty much go. And if it's an ETS, we're okay with that because we'll like the bricklayer one that's been hanging around for 3 years. We'll actually fix the road, get the road right.
Yeah.
And it won't be hidden.
But yeah, just to tie into what Brownie was saying, with the system integration, I know I sent that email across to you guys, with the fascia and gutter, just using that one as an example. You know, just say corrugated iron sheets purely went up in price and you get an email to actually figure out how much we're ordering and the actual usage of that product,
How much it's actually going to cost.
how much it's actually going to cost us this price increase. He won't have that data available because of, you know, sometimes what we've been doing previously.
Just quite.
So that's just sort of the domino, just one little example of sort of the domino effect that I guess, yeah, what Brandon was saying, it works for us here. But
We can
what
use
effect
it
does
to-
have on other stakeholders.
Yeah, so by actually putting the quantities in the Colorbond roof, like saying 145, we can run a report on that item that says, right, we've used this much. That's just a selling tool for us to use when we're bringing on suppliers going, well, we want the rate to be a better rate for that reason. We've used 2,000 square meters of Colorbond roofing in 500 jobs or whatever. Like, it's a selling tool to get new suppliers and get rates and stuff like that. By using quote, doesn't help, we can't pull that information. So,
Just on those questions you had, Ari, about the low tens and what do we do? Like, just reflecting on that now, it highlights how important this exercise is. What do we do?
Yeah, and who makes that decision?
What do we do? You guys just need to know we fucking do. And that's why this is really important. Like, the business has grown and grown very, very quickly. We acknowledge that, you know, there's never been hey, like that's how you estimate, follow that, can you be sweet? There's been none of that, or very little of that. So all those questions are, I guess the point of all this is we endeavour to actually answer those questions. What do we do? Flick to page 43. That's what you do. This is how we do it. And there's no differentiation between anyone, including you guys at Platinum Global. It's all consistent and the same. And as we grow, we grow and develop together.
Yeah, and I think the next slide here, continuous improvement, like the guide you just read, Vlad, and said, estimate this way. What if Vlad thinks it's wrong? Like, we can't improve if it's not documented and challenge it and work out a better way. So
it's
obviously,
always, everything can be challenged.
system
Yeah.
allows continuous.
We're always
improvement.
happy to look into it.
Just because we're given a new document to say this is how to estimate, if there's something that you think needs to be changed or stuff or whatever.
Yeah, but that's hard because.
Because
there's no-
our role
no
is to
way
give you guys the tools that you need to do your job. And if there's a better way that it can be done,
Better way, quicker way,
Let it
more accurate way.
Yeah.
You know.
let us know, because that's what we're here.
Don't sell
to do.
changes, just
Yeah.
stand it out.
Plans only, as per
There
plan.
won't be AQs, aren't good enough for that. I told him I'd have a few.
It's all right, if
But who does
the,
most of the
if the-
MVRQs, Brandon?
if the plans were drawn right, we'd be all good.
Yeah, so obviously, yeah, again, continuous improvement with data, we can improve with a way, we can challenge, we can always improve. And obviously, yeah, with an increased order value enables greater improvement opportunity, or the other way around, if it is bad. So, yeah, it's obviously that shows the importance of a 1% improvement to $2.5 million better end result for the company. So it just shows how important it is, and 1% isn't much in the job.
Wow.
Yeah, 1% is tiny.
But that's right, but you think about that one job, you go, well, then you go times it by 1,000, yeah? Because that's what we're doing.
That's what it is.
So it's the reality of, you go, well, $500 on load 10 on this job. Okay, but then you go, well, hold on, times it by 1,000. That's the real impact. Yeah?
Yeah.
So it's actually, once you get your head around it that way, and it's even just by over ordering skirts or under ordering skirts on a job. You go, that impact goes, well, yeah, it might be 5 lengths of skirts, but then if you're short, it's delivery, it's all the other things, but you're over, it's just getting thrown out and we don't hear about it. That's where we need the
It's always
continuous
that way.
feedback, even from construction, coming back to us saying, you've got 2 packs of bricks on every single job left over. We need the feedback. Alright, if that's the case, there was, I think, remember, it used to be one house that was 5 packs of bricks. Then they were charging us to take them away, and then all they were doing was crushing it and using it back on our sites. So, but we worked out where that was coming from. It was just the takeoff wasn't taking, like, the idea of if you don't put in the head height of the windows, it won't take out the bricks. So by not having, even on the cladding, if you've got cladding and you don't have that head height in, it does not take out the bricks. So all your openings are still getting paid to lay. So you've got ordered the bricks too much, but you've also paid the bricklayer too, to lay the bricks that aren't actually getting laid. So it's more than just the one. Then you're paying, even you're ordering sand extra, you're ordering brick cleaner. So it compounds that it not just, 5 packs of bricks or 2 packs of bricks. It's everything. It's the 5 other orders that affect that as well. So,
Yeah.
but by getting feedback, but that's where you rely on the MBOQ as well. If they've not added any doors, then skirting the arcs, don't need to touch it, realistically. So, and then by using recipes as well, and you need to look at the recipes that you've used and amend them, yeah? By not just leaving it as what comes in the recipe, because it's can be a generic item for that recipe, but it's not house specific for every single house. So you need to still go in and go, oh, actually, I need to amend it to match my plan.
Like your sliding rope doors, for example. You'd have to calculate the amount of links that you need to create the frame. If you've got 5 rooms that have had sliding rope doors put in, and you drop the recipe in, telling you to put in a certain amount of links for that, so you have to count them on.
So,
Do it that way.
but yeah, so that part about it is, if we're 1% better on our estimating, even getting our masters that 1% better too, that has got a significant impact of where the business, like, if we start pulling 1%, if we don't need to put our house prices up, we can make more sales. It's a big thing. Like if we said, oh, we're $5,000 short on our base price, but we're pulling $5,000 out of a job. Do you get what I mean? It's not just the over ordering, it's the impact that we could go, oh shit, we'll have to put the house prices up.
Yeah.
If we put the house prices up, we might not make as many sales as we do. So it's just about aligning every department.
But as well as that, like the money that we're pulling back for improving our practices gives us more room to say, put on an extra estimate. Or, that allows us to have more resource within the office to be able to facilitate more growth again. If we get another 2 heads in here and another 2 heads in sales estimating, and all of a sudden you're able to process so many more jobs.
And that's right. We want to go from 1,000 to 1,500.
You're gonna need those people.
But if we can fix systemic issues as well, that we can estimate from 3 jobs to 5 jobs a week by fixing issues, right? Then, yeah, well, we don't need to go, well, we don't need another 10 people. We need 5.
Yeah, because with that consistent estimating practice, you'll get more efficiency out of it as well. Which you'll be able to,
Yeah, with the alignment, no supply.
everything will be a lot smoother, you get your jobs done quicker,
100%.
so,
That's it from me.
Brady, before we,
That's it.
I do want to go around the room. I can't even see who's on the screen, how many people are on there. Before we wrap up, just to get everyone's pulse and thoughts on what they heard today and what, I guess, what you guys are thinking how it all feels to you.
And any questions as well?
Yeah, we'll throw to some questions, but, Brandy, do you want to give maybe just an update on how it's tracking so far and where we're at with the project as a whole?
With going through.
Yeah, going through the jobs, has there been any progress on the manual?
Yeah, so we've started the manual. The manual, Steve, have you got a training session next week?
Yep, we've got one
Yeah.
every week.
Actually, funny enough, I think the next one's Windows.
Windows, yeah.
So yeah, the manual, Steve will bring the manual in next week. There'll be obviously the highest priorities, to be in there. Plus we obviously got to pull the old manual apart and put some stuff of that in there, whether that's in there for next week or not. That'll be touch and go. But pretty much, yeah, we're into it. We've found some priorities. We'll now put them into the document and get them to you guys and start that improvement circle, which is exciting. So yeah, and the guide will be really detailed images, so that you can actually not just read it, actually visualize it and say, oh, that's why we don't put fascia on the boundary wall, or, oh, that makes sense. So yeah, because there's one thing to read something, but there's, yeah, I'm very visual. I need to see it. So.
I think this will take a while before this book gets released.
Oh, and it'll just.
Yeah.
So literally every week, we'll just maybe put a couple more pages in, a couple more pages and just slowly.
Available?
It will be, yeah. So I'll send it out before
Just to share.
the session next week. And we'll just keep sharing it weekly, just with updates and, yeah, just slowly, just, yeah, get the improvement happening and alignment and all those types of things.
So there'll be weekly updates, so weekly training sessions, tackling some of the, I guess, the top priority things that need to be looked at and addressed or training as per the program. There'll be weekly updates and releases on the estimating how-to manual.
Yep.
Um,
And we'll try and do that just before the training session. So if you guys have got any questions, you can bring them up, yeah, in the training session. And talk about them. If they're not things that Steve's going to talk about in that session.
what about BOQs and updates to that?
Who's still working on BOQs? Just mainly,
Just not in the minute.
no, but fixing,
Yeah.
like, even just pricing, putting
Yeah.
pricing into the system.
I think one thing we probably can do better is at least probably let you guys know if there's an issue with an MBOQ, or just so you know what to look out for, just things like that. I think that's definitely key.
End goal as well to increase the number of NBOQs that we have.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is, but I mean, with Sleeper being on these checks full time. Sort of, it's reduced any capacity to be able to attend to those, because.
Just with pricing, like with Corinthian, like if I cancel an order and I'm reissuing because something, it's not costing me extra, I'm doing some change, then I'm sending it, but it's going as the new pricing, but it's an order that's been cancelled
Yeah.
6 months ago.
That's still, if you've cancelled,
Losing like that?
well, we
Yeah.
do, because we've got, if there's, they hold pricing from when the order's sent. So if you've cancelled it, it's the same with now some of these solid starts and us going through this. If we've cancelled it and the solid start then zeroes out, if it's got to be worth us actually doing the change to make sure that we're recouping that cost too. Do you get what I mean? Because we can't send it once we've superseded it.
So shouldn't we maybe then like manually put the rates in?
Because they'll go off the date of the purchase order that you send them. If you cancel and reissue, they'll go off. You got to go to the new pricing.
Isn't that specifically going to be something that's going to be in the how-to, how to cancel, reissue with
Yep.
price levels and stuff?
Yeah, definitely. I've just created a little manual. I just went by Ari the other day, and I'm not sure if he's sort of informed you guys, but there'll be a few BBs coming your way, which I know we really like. So I guess prepare, I guess everyone just for the best possible practice. Just put together a little manual using pretty common items in these BBs that are going to come through. So
I think they're all coming to me so far. I don't know
Yeah.
if anyone has seen any. You know, ones with like, So we all love Seed House as our energy assessors. So any jobs that are out on site at the moment where the plans and the energy report don't match AL are coming back to us.
Yeah.
So we're not, so we've completely cut off Seed House. So now instead of getting an amended energy report, we're just applying for a new report with Energy Lab. But, so what we're finding with Energy Lab is they're coming back with their more upgrades to achieve 6 level. So Seed House was obviously assessing all these driving line. So there's these being raised, the change in installation.
Yeah.
Even more double glazed windows and all this sort of stuff, so.
It probably needs to be
You
separate.
got one of those? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I thought they're all coming to me, but yeah.
Yeah, it probably just will be beneficial, even just to how to understand and read these new Energy Lab reports. I guess that is a part of the role that, you know, we should be all reading these energy reports that come through. So I don't know if you want to put a time the next sort of week. And we can run through that and even just the general practice of cancelling and reissuing an order. And I know Sabre and Randy touched on it today about locking a budget and raising after that. Yeah, it's probably been a bit lost, and you know, we just a good refresher to touch on soon, I think.
Yeah, we'll reset some expectations and give the proper training and actually, yeah, so I guess show you guys what needs to be done. And it's all part of this whole operation, just setting the way, this is how you need to do it, this is how you need to action this, and when this comes through, this, all that sort of stuff. So this feels like there's probably a separate meeting with quite with some stuff that's actually happening at the moment.
Yeah, so I'll book in, well, I think we've got the next training session on Monday, so I might link it with that.
And feel free
You
to.
could always take that one over even if you needed to.
Yeah, because the window one, you won't be ready for Windows yet on Monday.
I doubt it. We won't have any MBOQs updated, and I think we wanted A and
So
L to come in.
I'll take out the window one.
Yeah. Windows.
I'll take out the window one because obviously I keep pushing it out, but it's not going to be ready until you say it's huge. Yeah, so.
Just in standard windows alone, like, and well, that's not boutique windows, it's not doors, that's not boutique doors. There's 625 lines in the Excel sheet, just for standard windows. Yeah, so that's the sort of level of work I'm looking at building this cost center up.
So I'll just change the training session now
Yeah.
to, what do you say, energy report?
If you,
And
it won't
that
take
and
us
some,
long.
No, I won't take us.
Cancel
Yeah.
mission and maybe just a bit of feedback from good stuff with them commonly picking up.
Yeah, run through, the guide.
top 5.
So.
And feel free to bring, if you guys are stuck with anything or lost with anything, feel free to bring that to those meetings too,
Say top 5.
and bring it
Yeah,
up.
like just feedback.
Yeah, we can take it away and, find answers or,
Yeah, all right, I'll change that meeting to Monday. And then, yeah, whenever Windows is ready, obviously Stu will let me know and then we'll just.
And we can try and get A and L. Maybe come in and discuss.
Yeah, because I asked for them to, they should be able to provide us with like a PowerPoint presentation as well, like as like something to reference to. Because like, yeah, it's gonna be their terminology of like, no bottom reveals of, transoms and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, which is gonna be items for them.
Anyone got any, well, we're gonna go back to your pulse, come on.
Yeah, I just want to circle back to your question, Ari, about the BOQs and what's happening with those, and we're going to get more BOQs, all that sort of stuff. I think Stu's obviously full-time running the BOQ updates, he's working on Windows and all that stuff, so we've got at least someone keeping that wheel turning. I think ultimately the focus has completely shifted to tightening up the way we're ordering, and actually giving you guys the best opportunity to succeed on how to estimate and all the stuff we've been talking about, and gaining back that margin and increasing that margin, because that's what's keeping us all in the job. That's the reality of it. So the level of infrastructure that you guys have at the moment won't change significantly over the next few months. It will continue to improve with the windows and these new ways of estimating. Still will be on top of discontinuations, price lines, and all that sort of stuff that really affects the data. But there is, I guess, enough for you guys to get by and do the job. And then once this is in full effect, we'll make that even better. Sliwa and the guys can start to pull back from this a little bit once it's really embedded in the system and the manuals there's enough there for you guys to actually really make an impact and improve your efficiencies. And then we start to get back to what we were doing previously with these are the houses I need, these are the jobs back modular and all that sort of stuff that we spoke about in a couple of months ago now. So it's bit of an update as to, I guess, where the resourcing is being allocated to and why this is so important and top priority for the business. Like Eddie's been taken off ClickHomes, Brandon's completely off DNA, Slee was off BOQs, and this is the main focus for the business at the moment. Just on that, but we will circle back and get back to providing BOQs for everything else types. Yeah, I think we just go around the room and everyone just let us know what your thoughts were on the meeting and what you heard today and how you're feeling, I guess. Who wants to volunteer to take it away? Otherwise, I'll start.
I think what's going on is good. It's a good idea. I mean, it's all great here because we have still haven't seen any. The idea is fair. It's good. Like I can tell from my experience and any other companies, it never was a how you would just sit and say, oh, this is what you do, this is what you do. Yeah. And you were always guessing.
Yeah.
You were confident of what you were ordering.
Yeah.
So it's a great.
Yeah, awesome. We just got to deliver now.
I just gotta get it out of here. Get it out of here.
There on the paper.
I don't know, I think we under the pump with a lot of things, like, I don't think people really realize how much other shit we're dealing with, they're not just trying to get through a job. It's, I just don't feel like everyone really understands the issues we had. I don't know how to, like, for example, ICC was last week, okay, so we were told the jobs are paid. Now, example today, like my Windows quote wasn't in. So we were told ICC it. I didn't have a quote, the PCB was raised for double glazed windows. So I checked the quote in the morning and it's got double glazed everywhere. So remember I already put the allowance. I still double checked with the allowance how much she said double in, it will definitely be that. So I paid just that. No, I'm saying, yeah, it'll probably definitely be about double that.
Okay, yeah.
And then, when I checked the quote, the sliding door is now saying in Steiner.
Put it.
But nowhere does the PCB, the tender,
Yeah, it says size.
Yeah, this is the documentation part that we're talking, yeah?
But now,
Yeah,
no,
above the
it's
window.
going to 13 or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, what do? Do I go back and say a BB needs to be raised to change this because giving it for free to the client, or do I just, because we
So
understand
obviously
it's
it's
like,
part of the board.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
So this is what I sent that email maybe a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, 20,000, one of my quotes says, all the window has been quoted as a boutique, but client paid for standard, and the quote says like 20,000 bucks. Yeah,
Yeah, that was the
it
same.
came, yeah,
Yeah,
it
so
came
that's what
down around,
triggered.
yeah, $11,000.
Can you send me these job
Yeah.
notes, please?
But
it's
that's,
just,
yeah.
it's something small, but that one
No,
thing.
but that's
I have
margin
to
for it
check,
too.
I have to, you know.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yes.
They're not cheap.
You know, it's not 2 seconds, like I always double check, like if a quote hasn't come through, I make sure every item there, I'm like, fuck, this is wrong. The fixed windows were not correct, they were also boutique,
Teacher fixed.
I don't even know. There
Yeah,
was
but
issues.
that,
The
but
kitchen's
this-
fine.
that-
Yeah, she said, yeah.
these are the systemic issues, and this is why us having the windows,
In the system.
we'll be able to do it ourselves. too.
So
So,
if you're gonna order a standard sliding door, you'll see the height is 2365 and you look at the floor plan.
2370, yeah.
You're gonna put on your clarification sheet to say change the height of the.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like now they've probably been advised to something, I know, because by a few millimeters, they're saying that we've quoted as standard, the plans aren't standard or whatever, and now
I've told
the job is gone. You know, now you're sitting in a situation, don't just let it go, because later you're gonna pick up lines and you're giving.
no, but that's what we're saying, it's not,
But
that's
it's-
a systemic issue that we're trying to fix. No, no,
But that job was just ACC, and I never had a quote, you know?
yeah, that's what we're saying though, we're not looking at,
Individual, I
Yeah.
understand. It's just, you know, it's something small I'm bringing up, but this,
No, but yeah,
A lot of things
that was raised and that's why we actually, from that, I sent the whole spreadsheet back to them to make sure that they did it right for the heights, because at one point, I reckon I did get one that they were both the same. And I went back to them already, I reckon I must have done it already because they were the same. They both had the same height for boutique. I said, I went back saying, hold on a minute, I know there's a difference.
Yeah.
So
What's your,
I said, I don't want you to come back to us for that reason, exact reason, saying we're gonna get ETS, it's drawn at 2370. That's a boutique, but we're only looking at standard. So fixing this systemic issues that we're trying to create a cleaner way forward.
It comes back to the whole system too, like we're a fair bit away from it, but we're starting to work in ArchiCAD for the drafting where there's actually, you guys have got your catalogue in DataBuild where you pick your items. There's actually a catalogue now in ArchiCAD, so they actually pick the windows. So then we can have the windows and sliding doors signed off by A&L to say, yep, they're all our standard size. It goes into DataBuild, so we're really bringing it all together. So plans start to be right, the catalogue's right, and yeah, it all starts to align.
So for instance, there's a window in drawn, and there's another window, the same window, the same room asked in the tender. But when it comes to A&L says you can't have that window as a standard. You'll have to be boutique. But it wasn't ordered, it wasn't charged as a boutique.
Yeah,
So what do we
Because
do?
it's
to
like.
me, that's, I see that as hand on heart, we wear that, that's, without getting into the details, that's the business's call, we just have to wear that, which, yeah.
But things like that, would that be in that one, once we have the windows in DataBuild?
Yeah, well, but that's what everything will also be priced from.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So the whole system of,
but if we look like, if we have the same issue in DataBuild, we start looking for that window. I'm thinking, okay, that window will not be there because.
but
yeah, it won't be in there, that's right, so it can't be drawn, and it can't be.
So,
moving forward, so the older jobs, yes, you'll still probably find these kinds of things happening, but all the newer jobs, whatever
This
we've
is
got in
not
data
going to- This
built.
isn't tomorrow, this is a little bit down the track, but this is where, this is looking into the future.
Yeah,
Where
so-
we're heading.
Just for your peace of mind on Windows, because it is a massive, I guess, it's a massive thing. Like this the catalog item that you will see, like that example just there, like, yes, it's not in that catalog, it, should be drawn as incorrect, but the items that will be in the retail systems is based off that catalog. And we'll have down the track where it has that DataBuild code. So you guys will be able to read the exact DataBuild code on the exact window that you've got to order. And
That's
then,
nice.
if you pick up that it's been drawn wrong, then you've got more confidence because you can see, all right, well, my DataBuild catalog code is correct, is this, and the retailer's code is exactly the same, but it's been drawn wrong. So you can identify the error. But yeah, all the windows that will go into the retails is going to be based off DataBuild with that, and that just goes into collaboration. That is all we're talking about here, because at the end of the day,
Aligning all our systems.
we're one company. There's so much information everywhere, but it's all got to align. And that's where we're going to get to.
Other things like I think technical, for instance, for a job that I got that A&L worked well, because they went for like a report. UTS when they report that. I'm assuming it has something to do with the way it's being designed because of the height of the house. Now,
yeah,
I'm still waiting for that.
Did I email Tanya? I think I emailed Tanya.
I think Sean was gonna do that review. So who's ordering that report? Because otherwise, and that job sites is here, right?
SLS, ULS report. I sent it back to Tanya. No, I sent it to Nicole, it's apparently group 4 had to do something.
Oh, before now.
Yes.
So we've got
But now that you said that, I'll follow up when.
Who have we got on screen? Anyone? Oh,
Anyone else for a box?
Dylan,
still there?
can anyone speak?
Is there any
Yeah, I
questions
don't
in
have
the
much
chat
to
box?
say. I've just been listening to what you guys been saying. So yeah.
Yeah, so what do you think about what we've been saying?
You thinking it's going to be a good thing or?
Yeah, I think it's it brings confidence to the whole team and the business to see what's going to progress, especially with the team that Fab's put together, and what Brownie's doing, and then what you're doing, Sleever, as well, is going to really increase the team and the business as a whole.
Who else is on there? I can't even see.
I think
Drew's on it.
Drew did.
What do you think, Drew?
I don't really estimate much, so it's not really for me to say. Most of my issues are with documentation, so I'm glad that's getting fixed.
I can't even answer this.
It doesn't estimate much.
What about what about the queries that you get from suppliers, Drew, and supervisors?
That's not really a short question that I can ask. I have a lot of questions about the roofing mostly.
Yeah, but so once that guide's established, I guess, you know, you're gonna have that a lot of information and knowledge and infrastructure behind you to then have the confidence and be able to go back to suppliers and supervisors on their query.
I think also once it is up and running, that it will also reduce the amount of emails that we get from suppliers and supervisors. So,
Yeah.
you know.
I hope so.
Who else is on this, Steve? Thanks, Drew.
Well, die.
Yeah.
Vietnam. Can we, I've never, can they?
They're not sending orders or
Any
anything.
feedback? Not yet. But
No.
do they have any feedback? Does Di have any feedback?
Die, you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm still here.
What did you think of the presentation? Yeah.
I have
Oh, that's all right.
I have nothing to say
Nah,
right now.
that's fine, mate. Akash?
Said I couldn't see you.
Yeah, the estimating guide will surely help us a lot because the new starter will, or anyone, single story house, that is perfectly new guide for single story, double story. So it will surely help a new starter because right now, giving an example at PG's job. When I'm checking the jobs, I always send an email to RE because they don't get a particular take-off sheet for the particular house type. Because they only have a master take-off sheet. I think my help take-off sheet.
Yeah, so we're working on IT with that.
Because that's the reason one of the estimator has done like 9,200 bricks and I think 175 meters square rendering area. So it almost saved $9,000 in one floor. Right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, it will.
So there's works in the back end for
Yeah.
that's the processes and that's aligning everything as well. So
So you think it'll bring consistency?
Yes, yeah, it's gonna.
Comment?
Well, the system is good, but the only thing I could think about is the time frame. For example, all of us here are very much dedicated to the job. We're doing it on time and on time, but when we pass it along to the next people in line, the people that we need information, it takes time. For example, they have a BP, a deliberation where the client changed the power from single phase to three phase, and they ask for a upgraded unit. So I need information from the drafting to change the drawings, but takes them a bit of time. It's not the urgency; it's not there, especially for those babies which is already on site and they already need it as soon as possible. You do it faster, but when you pass it on to the next people in line, the urgency is not there. So at least we need to show them that the agency should be on them as well, on their side as well.
and that's ownership of probably everyone owning their own piece of work as well.
Yeah.
And
Do
then
you see that that this will bring any improvement in your role or any benefits or anything like this?
Yes, we do. Yes, especially as a newly starting in here, so I don't know the system.
Yeah.
I do know how to estimate, but I don't know how to use the.
How we estimate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it helps.
Yeah, of course.
By understanding the way that we estimate, you'll understand how the bills are set up, for example, the masters, so you'll know that why they are, that's correct.
Yeah, because some of the percent that I'm still in by the, that's why I text Sliva in window forgot, I think it's item over there in the installation or somehow, Bill said. But I don't know why we are using that item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so right now.
And that's the part where we've brought in a new product, and we need to actually, like, we put it into the bills, but we need to explain why.
Yeah, why we using that, yeah.
Why it's there.
Why it's
So all
there.
of a sudden, like you see the window forgot,
Yeah.
trying to think of. How's that?
Because I never seen.
I think someone asked us yesterday, what was you? Yeah, look,
I said,
Even if it's
what's window for?
Yeah.
It's
Instead
not
of
falling
using
out the
window.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm actually really excited because I haven't had feedback like, well, since I started, it's just been on like.
Go.
Just reallocating. It would be really good to see like, mistakes that I've made and just like see how it. Like, yeah, like this book will help heaps as well, for the future, if I actually do want to do estimating, like, yeah. Yes, it should be good, like, sure, just really excited for next week.
And they're not mistakes you haven't been told.
Very insightful. Thanks.
What about Ari? Does he not get it?
Yeah, no, Ari.
He's got the pulse.
He's getting excited.
Yeah, no, I think it's, I think it's great. Especially like what you said before, like, how quick the company's grown. We're sort of pretty much pushing to be a, tier 1 volume builder. So this is definitely the tools that we need in place to be, successful, efficient, accurate, and just showing the 1%, how much money it really impacts the business. So I think it's really good to present this to the team and, everybody actually sees this stuff and knows what you guys are working on. So yeah, it's definitely exciting and it should be good.
Is every department doing similar things? Like drafting, sales?
So with those, like, there's
Exactly, on the
Integration.
If other departments are doing something similar.
Yeah, 100% from a development point of view, as I said before, like the catalogue, it's obviously a little bit further down the track. Our development draftees at the moment are actually working in production, redrawing all the double stories to wall on wall, which will be a big change. We've obviously got that 150 cantilever, which makes our three-side quoting process pretty difficult. We're starting to move towards wall on wall. So they're not in there helping as such on their jobs, but they're grabbing all their files and redrawing them. So that's an exciting one for the business too.
Yeah, just to join with that, the blessing sort of in disguise on that is that, they've now got eyes on what's actually happening in operations. And, we all, we all know.
So it seems to me, it seems like, don't worry, estimator will fix it.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
but
So,
you should still be clarifying if you don't think something's right.
That's the thing.
True, but
So-
there are things that should be common sense for them.
Yep, they should be.
Yeah, so what's actually happening with the wall and wall is they actually are giving that feedback back to drafting, very similar to what we're doing with the team here. So they're actually providing that feedback and I guess clarifications to drafting, and I dare say they're keeping their own little log. And then once they come on the other side of the wall and wall, they'll be holding these training sessions as well. So
Because I think all of this is good. It's gonna help us. So there's also a part
Yeah, it's
that's
gonna be everywhere.
coming out from
Yeah.
sales, drafting.
Because if you're taking the quality of the work, that's what holds us back.
Yeah.
Because there's not one job that I don't have under 30 qualifications, and then to check them, and then it goes back 100 times before that job's actually ready to go to site.
Yeah.
So instead of having 3 jobs, I can barely do 3 jobs a week because there's so much other shit that holds you back. And it's not this. If this improves, yes, it's an excellent thing, but it's the other things that are holding us really big behind.
Yeah.
Like simple things, but those things take time.
Yeah.
And the thing is now after 25 or 26 verifications, now it goes to different department managers or whatever. But I mean, I don't know how it's still gonna get fixed or when we will start seeing a change or what, because like I'm comparing 2, 3, 4 years ago to now, and it's crazy. The different, that time it was like 5 to 10 max clarifications, like 10 clarifications, the job was geez like it. Now every job is 30 plus. And then it needs to get checked, and then it gets checked, and then it goes back, and then the ITI thing, and then it goes back another time, then the ITD, and it goes back again. And that's what holds us back.
It's just creating more work,
Yeah.
realistically.
Kylie and Des are aware of that, trust me, I express it.
But something needs to be done.
Yeah, well, yeah, quality of other.
So,
Last year, we had the meeting middle of last year, if you recall, and it was like, Angela, just hold out till the. And it's gone worse, and I'm not, it's not funny, it's not nice.
Yeah.
yeah, we want to improve
Mm.
you coming to work by fixing all the systemic issues. Yeah, we don't want people going, it's not getting any better. We want this to be a place that people want to come to work.
Well, it works.
So, but, yeah. Slow, we've got to work towards it. We can't just flick a switch.
I struggle with mental abuse or whatever, and I'd like to sit and take time with some stuff, but it's like you're under pressure, so you don't, okay, next, carry on, that's the way you're working, it's not good. Everything's right, everything.
Now I've expressed that.
It's, everyone have a separate catch up, I think,
Yeah,
is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
I'll organise it.
That's what I mean when I'm just doing these single things, where they need to sort of, they're doing their job, but then think that something below, what it's gonna affect below.
Yeah.
And I think this is where Des has obviously got the quality document manager as well, trying to get past as well.
Yes, I've heard interviews, or some interviews that will be happening for that role. It's gonna be a quality
Documentation,
manager.
quality, yeah, something.
Just to close this one off, is there any action required by Ari and the team at all?
I don't think so, just come to next week's training session.
Sit tight and
That's pretty much it, yeah.
We'll do the rest.
Yeah, no, so I changed Monday's training session from Windows to energy, top 5 feedback, cancelling and reissuing POs, and then obviously whatever you guys feel.
And we'll email out the document before that.
Yeah.
What is it, Monday?
You done it already?
Do I need to, so I guess training session.
Eddie can come in the next one, yeah.
Like,
Put us in as optional and we'll try.
Yeah.
We'll try and come. Yeah, come along.
All right.
Yeah, I'll roll that in, that's with, you and Drew.
Yeah.
You guys are going to do that, well, let's talk about that separate. Drew, I'll catch up with you separate with your mesh, in the next day or so. Take that as a yes.
All right, yeah, sounds good.
All right.
Thanks for your time, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
See ya.
Steve, Ed, and
See ya.
he's just.
No, on there.